All right, guys.
All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. You are here for How to Build a Side Hustle with AI in One Weekend. My name is Albert. I am the founder of Albert's List, and we are a job search, AI, and side hustle skills organization helping you become the most resilient professional you can possibly be. Today's webinar is really all about artificial intelligence and how you can use it to build a side hustle. So it covers two of our areas. And as you know, unless you've been sitting under a rock over the last 4 years, that AI has taken a lot of our mindset by storm. It's really just everything these days. And everybody's figuring out how they can use AI to become a little bit more efficient, make a little bit more income, and so much more. That's why I brought Mohit here today. He and I have been working together on this webinar for the last 2 years or so.
Yeah.
And we've really come up with a lot of different success stories and a lot of different use cases for how you can apply AI into your life. Mohit's very qualified, and you're really going to enjoy today's webinar. So, in between now and then, we're also recording this webinar, so you'll get a copy of it later. Feel free to also network in the webinar chat and anything that you want to ask in the Q&A. All right, Mohit, thanks for coming back. I'll hand it over to you.
Cool, of course. So let's talk about what sent it for you, what you guys will learn. So the outcomes that we want to learn from this webinar is are how is AI impacting the job market? Why create a side hustle? I want to give you guys a repeatable framework for creating offers and to test them. We'll talk about practical AI tools and how to use them. I'll show you like one of the current things that I'm building right now for myself. And then we'll talk about building out the skills and some market validation about building a consulting business and building out a lead list too. We'll cover high-end topics for it. So, who is this for? This is for someone if you want to start a side hustle with AI, you have no experience with AI, and you're willing to invest time into learning AI. Judging from our comments, it seems like it's pretty accurate. And so we don't gatekeep what we want to do. We'll do an exercise today about how to find a skill using AI. What are some people that you guys can sell to, and how to do product research. So don't just take it from me. These are a few people that have attended our webinar. Here's some other folks. Here's some other folks. Here's some other folks, other folks, other folks. Yeah, so on and so forth. So basically, I mean, like, I'm not just making this up. This actually has some actionable points to it. So the new frontier of AI, as we all know, it's changing the way that we work, it's changing the way that we do business, and it's also going around and making us more productive. Now, for those of you guys that are in the working world, what are some use cases for AI that you guys are doing? Please write it in the chat below. I'll give you guys about a minute. I assume most people will be writing emails with it and just doing like basic, text editing, stuff like that. Marketing ideation, brainstorming, creating apps. Okay, that's amazing. Customizing resumes, accounting policies, meal planning, cool, refining queries. Amazing. Cool. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is the new era of unemployment, it's really hard for, if you're especially like a brand new college grad, it's really hard to find a job, especially if you're in CS. A lot of the hiring is going up to senior and middle managers, and a lot of the first year folks are stuck. And so for the students that are in the room, you guys should try and use this opportunity to like vibe code something, sell it to a boomer, and try and be their AI guy, or try and figure out some sort of app or some sort of service that you guys can make, and then from the service make an app for it. So as we all know, the nature of work is changing as well. So historically, this used to be, like in my sales job, for example, the work used to be where um, I would have to do a lot more manual work. So before a call, for example, I would have to go into my CRM, read the call transcripts, read the CRM notes. Sometimes they're not very good. Now, with work, I have the ability to transcribe everything. I can throw that puppy into ChatGPT or Gemini and have a summary of what's going on. And I can also even input a link into something and try and get some sort of summary of what the company does, how they make money, who they target, so on and so forth. So the nature of work is definitely changing and it's definitely making your job easier. So the AI agents are going to get better and take your job at some point. Now, I work at Salesforce as at my current day job. So, and we talk about the agentic enterprise a lot. This is basically where humans and digital agents or digital labor work together in a seamless collaborative ecosystem. I just don't, I see it from a first principles perspective where I use Slack every day in my life. And so I'm kind of on the cutting edge of how the new era of business is taking place. I don't leave Slack. Everything can be done from my phone. And AI automation is here. It's only getting better with every iteration, and you need to keep up with trends. On the left-hand side is a screenshot of someone from Reddit who automated his job where his whole thing was to put together reports and analyze data for it. So AI automation, it'll impact traditional roles, marketing, finance, operation, HR, sales, and product management. Um, for me in sales, I can say that it's definitely changed the way that I work because I no longer have to do a bunch of manual tasks. I can also go into my Slack bot and I can type in, hey, with this customer, what are some great products? It really depends on how the data is trained for you. Now, this all seems pretty doom and gloom, right? Like let's not have this be you. Let's have this be an opportunity. Every whenever a door shuts in your face, I like to say it brings a window of opportunity that opens. So every disruption brings opportunity. And let's talk about how to scale your side hustle in a weekend with AI. So here's who I am. My name is Mohit. I am a real estate investor and a marketer at heart. I work in software sales and I build AI tools. I have a few side hustles. I'm an AI aficionado, and I'm here to share the blueprint with you for creating a side hustle using AI. And just so that you guys know that I'm not like blowing smoke, let me show you one of my businesses that I have. Can everyone see this? Yes. Cool. So I have a side business where we basically write content for MSN.com. And let me refresh the page just so it's not botted. So this is one of my businesses on top of me working at Salesforce. So this is a content business. I have writers all over the world, mostly in Philippines and India, who write content and we publish it. MSN will spread it, but this is just one of my income streams too. So let me go back and share my screen. Cool. So you guys saw a little glimpse of that. I mean, as you can see, the numbers were we make between 15, 16,000 and 30,000 every month. Our costs around 4,000 bucks a month. So it's pretty good. It'll pay for rent and then some. And now, why side hustle? Has anyone here been laid off in the past? Yeah. How did that feeling go? Did it kind of suck? And when you guys were laid off, what was your first thought? Panic? Exactly. So it's good and bad. I mean, I've been let go before, and sales is very cutthroat, but it gave me the like my side hustles gave me the ability to be confident because I was still reliant on my job, but I have another stream of income, so I don't have to worry about paying rent. I don't have to worry about where my next meal will come from. So in the golden age of AI, I think is a prime example of how you can use AI to build a side hustle, especially for folks who aren't overly invested in it. So there's a few good reasons why. So it's like you can diversify your income, you can turn your expertise into revenue, obviously. Build something of your own. I don't know if you guys know, but if you can build up a book of business, you can often sell that. And the goal for a consulting side hustle is to do it within a weekend, and you can hedge against economic uncertainty. And then usually the goal is like low startup costs, like under $100 per month. Um, I have a very good friend who is doing around 40 to $50,000 per month. He's doing some coaching, but he started out with like SDR contract stacking or like stacking multiple contracts. So you can really make any money in anything. There's guys online that make money by having a website which has a lot of traffic, but they have affiliate offers on the back end. There really is a lot of ways to make money. It's just to you. Courtney, you don't have to have a degree. You guys can look up affiliate marketing as well. These are all different ways to make money, but what you do need to have is a lot of courage to try it and the drive to continue it and not give up after the first degree of difficulty. So this was the light bulb moment. I have a skill set which is in B2B sales. You guys probably have skill sets too. So if you guys were starting out at the very beginning, it's okay. You guys probably work a job. Maybe you're an engineer, maybe you're a PM. You guys have something that is of value that companies are willing to do. And how long did it take me to establish that business? We started that in October of 2024. In that time, it's made about $180,000. Cool. So your expertise is in demand, and there's a lot of industries that need your expertise, and a lot of folks just don't know how to find it. Now, before I begin with the eight-step roadmap, what does everyone do? What would you say are your skills right now? You can write in the chat what your skills are. Healthcare operations slash admin, system engineer, software dev, headhunting and recruitment, HR, technical writing and scripting. So I feel like the very technical folks, I think that people are saying that software engineering is dead. I actually disagree with that entirely. I think that the whole vibe coding thing is fantastic. It'll get you 80-90% there. But and it'll probably get you your first paying customers so that you could develop that. But the goal is just to get started and to try out. Your first idea probably will not succeed. Just being real. I'm not trying to poo-poo anyone's idea, but it'll take a few iterations. And the success that I showed you with MSN, that came after I spent the first 2 years of my life after college working in my mom's house and just trying to figure out what is going to make sense. I had a business that was very successful, and then Facebook kind of shut that down. So, without further ado, let's go into the eight-step roadmap. So, this is kind of how it goes. We find an idea, we test our offer. Two is that we define our ICP, ideal customer persona. These are the folks that will buy what we have to offer. Number three is we'll talk about research online. So, who is in this space? What is the general dynamic? Four is that we'll set up landing pages. Five is that we'll find 5 to 10 customers. Six is that we'll reiterate the messaging based on feedback. Then we'll scale and create SOPs or standard operating procedures. And then number eight is that we'll scale our operations. Now, does everyone kind of see where AI can help optimize this? And if you can find ways to optimize it, I'm very curious what your take is. Deep research, okay, solid. Step three, step two, three, four, okay. Yep, yep. All steps, yep. Cool. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll talk about launching what is scaling your skill set. So what you're going to do is get a few ideas on how to build a consulting side hustle. Albert and I do have a product called Skill Your Skill Set. It is a course to help you launch a consulting offer using AI. And in it, we talk about how to get started with entrepreneurship, how to market, how to do research for your market, and develop your offer. I talk about building the email infrastructure and how to test different offers, scaling success, how to automate, delegate, and execute. So finding out what are the largest priorities and then how to hire staff overseas, how to manage it within project management, and what makes a good worker versus a bad worker. I've hired a lot of different people, how to define your ICP and how to actually get them as well. And ultimately, the goal is to build a small business. So we've kind of gone over the formula, here's what we can offer. I like to standardize these processes to test out new offers. And do you have to sell a product? Look, at the end of the day, everyone is selling something, whether it's a lead, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, everyone is selling something. And Harold, the reason why I hire an offshore team or overseas team is because simply they're a lot cheaper. If I hired an American to do content writing, it would probably cost me 3 to 4 thousand bucks per month. I can hire someone in the Philippines for like 250 to 350 bucks per person full time. Cool. So let's talk about our tools. You can use any of these tools. I like to use ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Replit, Grok, Lovable, anything like that. You can also use Canva to create images. You can use AI, not AI, you could use Grok or ChatGPT or Gemini. For the website, you could use lovable.dev, you could use card.co, you could use WordPress, anything like that. And then for the outbound systems, I like to use cold email. You have to have a domain and inbox registration tool. And I like to use AirScale for lead enrichment. For hiring VAs, I like to go on Upwork. I also have a decent sized network of folks, and you can even use AI bots as well. So let's talk about some of the costs to get started. Jason, why use writers instead of AI to write? Because MSN still wants human content. It's very obvious to find folks that will just use it, or it's very obvious to find AI in my writing. And frankly, if I see AI writing, I kind of glaze over it. VAs are virtual assistants. Manus is pretty good too. You could also use GenSpark for a bunch of stuff. So the cost to get started with all of this. So my lead enrichment tool, it's about 45 bucks a month. Email sending tool can be between 20 to 40 bucks a month. ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, Gemini, it's all free. Card.co can be 20 bucks per year, or you could use lovable.dev, and it's free to get started. But obviously these have other paid plans. So we're looking at what, like 85 bucks a month or 85 bucks per month. So, there is some cost, but ultimately 100 bucks will get you, it's like a nice meal, including drinks and tip in a big city. So card.co I like to use for templates for landing pages. And what a landing page is, it's a website where you go or where you'll drive traffic to. People will sign up if they're interested, and then you can get them in your CRM. Yes, this is USD. So let's actually do an AI exercise. Let me go ahead and share this link. Share this link in the chat. Um, Can everyone Can everyone access that Google Doc form? Please react with a thumbs up if you guys can see that or have access to it. Yeah, cool. So what we're going to do is how to use AI to brainstorm side hustles for your consulting side hustle. And this we're going to do steps 1 through 3, give or take. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go into LinkedIn. So this is my LinkedIn, as you can see. Now what you'll want to do is go to your personal LinkedIn. And what you'll want to do is click resources. Is everyone with me? Once we click resources, we want to click save to PDF. Now, what this is going to do is, let me open this. Okay, thank you, Adobe. So this is basically going to put your LinkedIn profile into a PDF. So as you can see, this has my summary. It's got my experience. It's got all of my accomplishments. Your LinkedIn is basically a digital resume, my education, and it's long, but it has everything that is professional about you. It's got your skills, everything like that as well. So what we're gonna do is go into Chat GPT or Grok or whatever you want. And everyone should have access to the to the doc. So I want to go ahead and copy and paste this particular this particular prompt. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is, oh, why can't it upload? Amazing. Is everyone with me right now, or do I need to slow down? Yeah, Cassandra. If we go into, oh yeah, so here, let me do that. So go to your profile and click view profile. Then once you're in your profile, click on save to PDF.com. And then once you save your PDF, then it'll download. It should be like profile, number. And then what we'll want to do is put it into ChatGPT. Cool. Yeah, it's taking forever. It might be your internet. I have pretty good internet. But this is basically what's going to happen. And this is just for me. So I'm giving feedback to a new ChatGPT. Wonderful. And what you guys can also do is go to promptcowboy.ai, or you guys could just use ChatGPT to say, hey, please optimize this prompt and take the prompt that I gave you and give even a better prompt too. I like to use AI to help optimize the prompt that I have. So as you can see, it gave us almost 20 different uh, businesses. So let's do this. So now, as you can see, we have a list of 20. So we'll actually go through them for the next, couple of minutes. So first one here is a real estate investment consultant. And it talks about the core problem or the target customer, the core problem, what are some of the direct deliverables and the pricing. And then it'll help you talk about why are you qualified? Why you specifically? And it'll give you a SWOT analysis too. For the folks that have entered that same prompt in, What kind of results has it gotten for you? Feel free to copy and paste some of the different ideas. Or is everyone still working on it? Yeah, so I put the prompt in and then I put the prompt in and then I attach my file as well, my resume. You can also use your resume as well. Cool. You can use Prompt Cowboy to optimize some of the prompts. I will use it or I'll use ChatGPT. So is everyone pretty, does that align with their skill sets? With like, does the output from ChatGPT align with your skill sets? Cool. So this is pretty nifty, right? Like, okay, I have sales enablement coaching. Um, Andres, are you sure? Did you download it as a PDF? Because it should. Three is lead gen agency. Four is real estate investment course. Fractional SDR management. Interesting. Um, and so what we're going to do, what we're going to go ahead and do is refine this. So we have a list of 20, and what we want to do is be able to rank it by a rubric as well. So like the whole point is to start out with 20, maybe 100, whatever it may be. And then we want to rank this in accordance with how easy it is to set up, profitability, how scalable is it, what's the barrier to entry, and how valuable is our skill set to it. For example, I like dogs, but I don't know how to train dogs. Dog training would not be a very good skill set for me. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is paste this. So for those of you that are on the Google Doc, it's prompt number two, like refining it. And so it'll create different rubrics for it. How does this relate to T, threat? You have to understand what's a threat to your business. And if we scroll up, it includes threats. It includes threats as part of the rubric as well. Cool. So my chat GPT has now responded with what it thinks we should do. So with all of this, we have real estate ventures, SaaS, marketing and content creation, and agency and media ops. So this is really quite interesting because it kind of puts me into four main buckets. And hopefully this is the same thing with you. It'll put you guys into four main buckets. The second part of this is the side hustle scoring table. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how well does it fit our skills? What's the barrier to entry? The scale, the profit, and the ease. Yes, for some reason, it's not letting me paste oh, I'm getting an error. Try and see if you can just access the link. Albert, if you don't mind doing that, please, that'd be great. So here we have all of the ideas of what we scored, and then we can see that it's been narrowed down to top three side hustles. Yeah, the link is share, uh, share, publish on the web. Cool, thank you, Jalen. Cool. Can everyone see it? And so it's basically brought us a few a few side hustles. So LinkedIn branding, coaching, ghostwriting for real estate founders, and sales email copywriting. And so it'll talk about best takeaways and why. Now, if you don't agree with that, then you can always reprompt it again and say, I don't like these. Please come up with, excuse me, with another three topics that align with my skill set. And so you can keep chatting with it and ideating on it. And so the whole point is to help you kind of brainstorm. And that's another application of AI that people may or may not use. So real estate tech stacks setup. This is fantastic. This is basically saying I should go in, help them set up their CRM and who I should do it with, folks that are generally stuck on spreadsheets, what can I offer, so on and so forth. And then so now that we've refined it, let's actually figure out what some of our competitors are. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this prompt just as a revision. We already have the refined list of side hustles based on the professional skills. Identify the top three competitors in the same niche or offering and provide their company names, website, and socials, what their core offerings are, the marketing propositions, the target customer segments, the strengths that gives them a competitive advantage, what are some of their weaknesses and gaps, estimated price share, estimated market share or scale if it's available, and some of the pricing, and summarize these all into a table. So this is if you wanted to use deep research, it would go. So if you want that, oh, let's go ahead. And I don't know why it's not letting us, but if someone can put the third prompt into the chat, that would be fantastic. Cool. I'm gonna take a pause here. How does everyone feel? Let's do a quick little pulse check. Am I going too quickly? Do you guys want me to slow down? What kind of questions do we have? So, Juan, what you guys can do is you guys can always like refine it and give the AI feedback. I like to use AI as a sparring partner for my thoughts. Sammy, you're using Grok. I like that. I used Grok in the last one. I switched to ChatGPT recently. So going back to what the output actually was well, actually, so that's what we're actually going to do, Harold, but let's go ahead and look at the feedback that our prompt has, or that our response has from the AI. So, Josh, what I would consider doing is the trap that I see a lot of programmers enter is that they'll enter into a market where they have no domain in, and then they don't really know what the customer or what the end user is actually feeling. And then they'll say, hey, I can do a much better job. And then they'll spend, maybe a few weeks, maybe a month building a product. They'll go to market. They have no idea how to go to market. And then the market kind of just dissipates their product. There's no demand. And the reason why I like the whole idea of selling consulting initially is because you can actually work with real life clients. And ideally, you should be solving a problem that you are facing. And you're like customer zero. In Salesforce's terms, we solve our own itch, we dog food our own product. And then based on that, the solutions are there as well. Now, I do the same thing with some of my other businesses too. And then I'll show you one of the products that I'm kind of working on for an internal tool for myself at the very end. So back to the prompt is that we have the output. So for our competitors, we could see, okay, Brenda Meller, she is a marketer, so we could see exactly what her website looks like, and we could see ChatGPT is the source. And this is basically her version of a landing page. And frankly, it's okay. And it's very typical, but it's really good that she actually came up in ChatGPT. And then we have Sarah Clay Social. So, Melissa, I wouldn't worry about an LLC until you make a couple $1,000s in revenue, if I'm being honest. And it also depends on the degree of like what you're creating before like copyright and ownership happens. I like to have like deliverables and be a service-based business because there's low overhead and you can charge a fair amount of money. So as you can see, we have a few different competitors. Really, where the actual edge you're going to have is through distribution and through like marketing as well. Sales and marketing are both versions of distributions, and you can run ads. Ads are very expensive. You can learn how to do that. I like to use cold email, which I talk about how to set up the cold email infrastructure um, all over the course, and I give real life concrete examples too. And so we can see that some of the different avenues are there are I could see their website, I could see their offerings, I could see who they're targeting, strengths, weaknesses, so on and so forth. And so this is kind of just meant to spur some ideas. And then what we're going to do, how did I look up the competitors? So within ChatGPT, this was the prompt. And so identify the top three competitors, provide the social profiles, the company name, core offerings, and so on and so forth. Melissa, you can also use Stripe Atlas as well. Stripe Atlas is a product that Stripe has to help you quickly create an LLC. Just note that depending on where you live, it might cost money to have an LLC. So do your due diligence. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a finance professional. I'm not an investment advisor. Please do your own diligence. I have to check that box off. So as you can see, ChatGPT and like Anthropic, all these companies and Grok, they all have memory. So the longer you chat with it, the better suggestions it'll put because it'll get to know you. And so it'll come up with a clear what's missing in the marketplace. It'll have examples for you to niche down in, and it'll even help you build your offering as well. So has anyone gotten anything interesting from this particular exercise? Is this valuable so far? Do you think this can help you make money? Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. So number four is what we're going to be doing is the prompt is that we have a refined list of side hustles complete with competitor analysis based on the skills and backgrounds. Excuse me. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is create market validation, create a launch strategy, do risk mitigation, and have deliverables as well. And then what we're going to do is put it in here. So we can do, like the thing that people are missing is that a lot of products happen because people see gaps in the industry. The quickest way to find those gaps is to offer consulting, and then you can find out from a few different clients what exactly are the main things that are missing. So the top three side hustles are that it'll say, okay, let's create a landing page so you can do Notion, card, and you can have what success metrics look like and how long it'll take you and some of the different tools and what are the costs are. Harold, what I just did was I from prompt number four, I made it have a list of basically tangible outcomes. So market validations, what can we do? What's an example of success? Let's talk about a launch strategy, and let's talk about like what are some potential risks or red flags for it. And and Nayland, you can also do a lot of different skills. I have a friend that I met through Twitter. He runs a cold email lead agency, and he just emails a bunch of folks. If they respond, great, but he'll write cold emails on their behalf. Or there's a student that I am working with. He's working for a startup. He got a job because he's cold calling for him. So you can find ways to get creative. Just because you're a student should mean that you have no skills. I'm sure that you have some skills that you don't know about. So going back to ChatGPT, it'll talk about what are some actual deliverables. It'll talk about launch strategy, what are some tools, risk mitigation, so on and so forth. You can even add different constraints as well. And then just talk to ChatGPT too. Say, hey, I don't have this. Help me come up with a plan for, a side hustle or something like that. So it's very flexible, but what I'm trying to show you guys is the framework to start a side hustle. It's not going to happen overnight. Cool. This is prompt four so far. I'm going to let me show you guys one of the tools that I'm working on right now and kind of like why I decided to go with it, and then we can open up the floor for questions. How does that sound? Is that a good plan? So one, yeah, sure. Let's see. What's one of the try not try cactus. Dealintel.ai was a real estate. It was, let me go to web archive. So let me show you one of the failures that I had. Dealintel.ai. Now, this was a SaaS that I tried to build selling to real estate professionals, right? And so I basically wanted to like revolutionize the commercial real estate industry, and you were able to upload OMs into ChatGPT, and I was trying to sell it um to real estate private equity folks. I was trying to sell it to corporate real estate folks. And I built the landing page. Oh, I guess that's not doing it. I built the landing page. We were trying to build software on the back end. It didn't really go anywhere, but it was one of the few attempts that I've had. I also had socialcycle.io. This was one of the this was a oh social cycle. Let's do it from 2021. This was another website that I tried to build where it was like a CRM for social media. And okay, let's see if it works. So, I mean, I've had a few failures as well. Like, you're not going to get it on the first try. But let me show you the current. I don't know why it's not working. And then what else? There's been a few, but once again, it's okay. So this is something that I'm working on. It's a real estate software that I'm trying to build for myself. So this is a tool that when I basically upload a deal, it'll ask me to upload files from a real estate. When a property is being sold, it's often got like a T12, which is like a trailing 12 financial statement, a rent roll, all these different things. The goal is to upload it. and then extract all that information. I built out the general infrastructure and I'm continuing to work on it. And so right now, if I import data, it'll have all of that. I'll just load demo data. And so what it'll have is the type of property, total square footage. These are all things that are from the papers, from the docs. It'll have the different types of rent roll, the expenses, all of that. Some of the debt, the constraints, the fees, all of that. Waterfall. This is just like an investor payout. It'll create a financial statement. It'll have returns as well based on how much money you put in and what the splits are. It has a sensitivity analysis too. And so I'm basically prototyping it right now. And then eventually it should be able to be its own app. When I run into bugs, I'll probably hire a software engineer for it. But if you're a software engineer right now, you can vibe code a solution, get a fair amount of feedback by cold emails or by talking to users, and then you can see if they're willing to pay. You can do it, Sammy. I am not an engineer, and I vibe coded a few products before, and there were some security issues as well. If you guys have heard of the T app, which is an app that a bunch of women they uploaded photos and like red flags of guys, someone hacked into it, and there was a lot of, sensitive information there, like driver's licenses, personally identifiable information, which was leaked, and the whole thing was vibe coded too. But the whole point of this is that you guys can get 80, 90% of the way there, hire someone overseas to finish it, and then, hopefully you guys will have a product as well. So before we skip to the next part, what kind of questions do we have? I'll probably take one or two questions and then I'll give it off to Albert to close us off. What is the most challenge I have faced so far? Honestly, getting people to respond and to actually buy my products. I th How did I get into the MSN writing business? My first business was writing clickbait. So on Facebook, my friends and I had a Facebook page with about 1 million followers. We had a blog on the back end. We monetized through Google Ads. It got me into publishing. And then the biggest challenge that I had was actually when, excuse me, Facebook had shut down the algorithm and it changed how we did. So before that, we were probably making, a couple $100,000 in a year. After the algorithm change, we were barely making like 2, 3K per month. So it was a lot of doing it. How much time do I spend on average working on my products? It depends what I'm doing. So the vibe coding for this, because I'm trying to actively buy some real estate right now, this is probably at least an hour and a half, 2 hours per day that I'm doing it. Tamir, why am I doing this? Albert, would you like to kick us off for this?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. As founder of Albert's List and, somebody who really wants to help folks with their journey into AI, of all things, met Mohit over lunch last year. And over the course of the conversation, we were like, why don't we create a course that maybe we can help people to learn AI just like you have, because I was very impressed with what Mohit had created. And so one of the things that we did to initially start was a 6-week course where we had a cohort of 10 people learning how to build a side hustle, a consulting side hustle with the help of AI. And so, because we really wanted to scale this up, what we did was we built a course on how to build a side hustle with AI in a weekend. And today, we're offering that to you all for A grand little total of 57 bucks, $140 off the normal price. And so what is this, right? Um, not to be too salesy, but we're there. It's 6 hour long videos to get you started, 7 presentation decks that go with those 6 hour long videos, 14 demo videos of tools that you'll use, including generative AI, and 3 bonus videos on how to get online and do it quickly, all in the way that Mohit has kind of kicked you off in today's webinar. And so that gives you the opportunity to learn how to do this and learn how to do this effectively. Right? Mohit spent, how many hours do you think you've spent building up the infrastructure to knowing what stack you need to use today to be successful?
I mean, look, it's probably taken me like I started my first company when I was 22,
You're a
so
serial entrepreneur.
20 I yeah, I guess so. So this is about like 8 years of learning, experimenting, failing, and ultimately you're going to benefit of learning all the things I've learned in 8 years in, for 60 bucks, 55 bucks, for less than the price of two people going out to lunch.
I know, right? Because lunch is just that expensive these days. 50,
Yeah.
60 bucks. Yeah.
Um, Eddie, when you're a
Yeah, yeah,
student,
right? Like this is my Albert's List is my side hustle, but I care. This is also Mohit's side hustle. He also cares. And you're supporting both of our, I guess you could say, startup dreams today. But more so, the reason why we want to also make this webinar available to you is because we want to build trust and show you that, Mohit's not all fluff along the way.
yeah, I also don't want, I mean, Mon, I actually show you how to do all of the things. Like, what do I use for email infrastructure? How do I get these email accounts? Where am I getting my data from? Like these are all legitimately like startups are trying to find that startups don't know. And I honestly respect the hustle. But the what's in it for me is like, look, I don't really care about 60 bucks. It's 55, 60 bucks. It's not like that much money if I'm being transparent. What I want to do is frankly, I get a lot of people that are like, "Hey, can I pick your brain? Hey, how do you do this?" And then, I'll have a meeting with them and then nothing happens. So it's better to associate some sort of value with it, and people are going to take action when they pay for something
And the
generally.
weekend is coming up, right? And we have a long weekend coming up with Thanksgiving, which is, for those of you who may not want to be at a Thanksgiving dinner, an opportunity to get started on this so that you can really benefit um, and build something before the new year, right? Like how many of us are, looking for our next job? We just saw that Amazon laid off 14,000 people and they're going to lay off another 15,000 in January. And it's a rough time out there right now, right? And so I frequently just think about how and what I would do in order to stay resilient. And AI helps you get to market faster. So only Mohit is teaching this class. I'm here to promote it because I believe in Mohit, and we had like 3,000 signups for one of his webinars earlier this year, which to me was like, okay, there's definitely something here. So it's just him. Um, yes, so
Yeah.
if you make the purchase on Gumroad and it gets updated, you do get access. Um, yeah. Kevin, there will be a webinar in the future. I'm looking at Wednesday night, December 10th right now.
Yeah, we can
So,
iron that out later. But yeah,
but watch the recording. We'll send that over to you. And yeah, so I think Mohit was messaging me earlier to let me know that he did have, here's the link to the course again, that he did have other updates that he wanted to make to the course, and he'll send those through. And when he updates the course, you get an update for it too. So, yeah.
yeah. So has I'm curious if should we give a discount if they buy on the course or on the webinar itself?
We can do that. I can set that up right now. Give me
Sure.
a moment. I'll give them an extra, what, 10, $15 off? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's do $47 if you buy it on the webinar and then 57 until this Friday.
I love it. Okay. All right. You're watching live business right now. All right. So 150, and we'll end it at midnight on Friday night. So if you're still thinking about this at 11:30 on Friday night, um, we will make it available to you. All right. So let's add that discount. Oh, discount must be unique. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. And let's do this. Yep, that's PST. So if you're if you're online, then you will. If you're somewhere in Australia, I'm making it. I made it $47 with that link. So that's $47 until Friday at midnight, Pacific time. If you're in Australia, that'll probably mean something like 8 p.m. Saturday night for you. So you'll have time for that, and I'll send emails. If you're looking for access to the recording, it's on our YouTube channel, so it'll be there. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel here. And this course is $47. And I assure you, if you're getting like, what is it, 7 hours of video plus another 13 hours of demos, I mean, you know, it's well below $1 an hour for your time to learn all this technology along the way. So, yeah. Any other questions from anybody here?
Yeah, I hope that you guys are, if you guys buy it, actually utilize it and just don't buy it. Actually make a business or try and figure out and launch something because the worst thing that'll happen is if you buy it and don't do anything with it, it's a waste of money.
Thank you, Aaron. I just saw your purchase come through. You can purchase the course at this link. We just had another question come through. Oh, no, not that link. That's the YouTube link. We just had another person come through and say how this course is different from the webinar. And I know it's like a million times different. So I don't know if you want to
It's more in depth. I record my screen literally as I go through the steps. Like it's like I'm making another business. I talk about, oh, I did a module for how I record or how I make newsletters using AI too.
Yep. So I would say that there's probably additional
Yeah,
um,
there's like, okay, how do I hire virtual assistants? What makes a good VA? How do I make my job listings? How do I make them AI proof? How do I manage them? Like, so how do you use like project management software? What kind of roles can you delegate within your business? Things like that. And I show live examples, not just, oh, hey, here's high level. It's literally like what I do with my businesses.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, we always ask this question at the end, right? And it's for those who have joined, does this webinar today inspire you and give you, is your mind spinning now and thinking about what it is that you can do? And did Mohit deliver value today? If yes, type yes. If not, tell us why not. Great. I love the yeses with all the uppercase. Awesome. Cool.
Great.
So if it
Do you like
did,
to buy? No, I'm joking.
if
Hopefully
it
it'll
did,
translate into actually taking action on it.
yeah, and so the other piece is, do you see yourself taking action and putting yourself in the revenue mindset, the money mindset, right? Like, you know, Mohit is Mo Money Mohit. So what is your name gonna be? Yeah, so there we go, right? Does anyone have any other additional questions? Are there any doubts? Are you wondering whether you can pick this stuff up? Do you need additional encouragement? Because we just gave you a ton. in the last hour. So, um, yeah. 4 day, a $1,000 boot camp to generate an AI clone. Oh my gosh.
Use
Okay.
Delphi.ai.
Yeah.
Um,
Free 4 day webinar series. Look, I could find maybe some hours in 4 days to sell you something, but like start simple, right? Like it's not like in our interest to try and talk your ear off for that long. Um, oh, Juan Luis said, no, somebody said, Mohit, before you release that website, please hit me up for a web pen testing session. Nice.
oh, nice. Yeah.
Still have to think about it more because it recommends I write software as a freelancer. Okay. Does buying the course give us access to Mohit in the future?
No.
No.
Well, you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn.
And he'll answer your LinkedIn chats, I think, right? How can this be more useful for students? Because if I use my LinkedIn, I don't think this is going to work. So here's the thing that I like to do, Neelan. So this is completely off of Mohit's course, but one thing I like to do is I like to ask AI to interview me one question at a time. So your prompt can be, I am a student looking to start an AI supported side hustle. Interview me one question at a time about my interests and my values and make a recommendation or recommendations for what I should do, right? And so this will take you out of your resume, but it'll at least allow AI to think through with you what it is that you can do, right? It's a very done with you type of process. So we can create a UUID on Gumroad and then we can access the class. Yes, that is correct. Yeah. So wait, OMG, that's like really good. Thank you. Yeah. So anytime I feel like I need to make a decision about my life, whether it's where I want to go on vacation or what I want to eat for dinner or what kind of like thing I should do with my career, I asked ChatGPT to interview me. And after 10 or so questions, it usually gets to some point. And so I don't only like Mohit said, right? Like you don't only do this for business, but you also do this for every other aspect of your life. And so it gets to know you that way. All right, what else? Um, do you offer personal coaching services, Mohit?
No, ideally not. I'm
No.
not gonna lie.
Yeah. Mohit comes on with me for an hour and, we text throughout the month and you know what? It works. So, yeah. If I am using LinkedIn and all the experiences I have are the same, how useful will these prompts be? For Mo, he had different experiences on LinkedIn.
Yeah, so what you can do, I mean, you like your LinkedIn is also like your resume, but you can also say, hey, I've done X, Y, and Z within ChatGPT itself. Like you can give additional context of what your experience is.
Yeah. 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 So there's still 50 of you here. Love to hear any skepticism, love to know what you want more of. I'll be sending some follow-up emails over the next few days. So if you have any questions, I can answer them or we can forward them on. Anthony, thank you for supporting us. Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Courtney. If you have another question, please use the Q&A or the chat function, and we can go from there. All right, so we're under 50 now. I know we're 10 past the hour. It is dinner time for me and probably sleepy time
Yeah,
for other
I'll stick
folks.
around for another what,
Oh,
2 minutes. We can stick around until 8:10 or until 8:13, 14,
okay.
answering questions that we may have, and then we can buzz
Harold,
off.
if you have any questions about Gumroad, you and I are already in contact, so just send me an email and I can help you figure out any issues that you have. I'll have you taken care of. All right. Anybody else? Anything else? All right. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Oksana. Thank you, Lucero. Um, yeah, the course is asynchronous, so you take it on your own time. You can get through it in a weekend and have a working side hustle by Monday. Um, and look, right, like you'll get to launch a lot quicker. This is the discount here. Use this link, Ginger. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Virginia.
And once again, the thing for the course is to put you in a mindset to try out different things because a lot of people are scared. Um, do we offer live? No, we don't.
We do not offer the live course anymore. Yeah, so I mean, look, Ahmad, if you would like to teach this course after you master Mohit's skills, I will ask Mohit for permission to teach this course through you. And we'll figure something out that way. Um, yes. Any other questions? Yeah, Juan Luis, we have a Discord channel now. I need to find my way to log into it, so we'll go from there with that. Um, but yeah, if you have any questions, ask me, and I might just throw everyone in an AI channel and see where things go. Okay, any other questions? Any other thoughts? It is 8:12. We have about a minute left.
We should also
Everything.
tell them with our AI
Uh-huh.
newsletter.
Oh, yeah. So I also have an AI newsletter. That is correct. You can sign up for my AI newsletter for free on Beehive. All I ask is you click on the ads, so I make a little bit of money along the way. We do have 3,000 people on this newsletter, and Mohit is an occasional contributor. And this newsletter goes out once a week. Usually it's Tuesdays. It won't be Tuesday this week. But basically it
It helps keep you updated with the trends in AI.
yeah.
It is ever changing, as we know.
Yeah. Let me try and find this here. Oh my goodness. Edit post. Copy link. Here's one of them. I think you should be able to yeah, you should be able to sign up somewhere on the front or back end here. But I'll add you all anyway to this. So cool. Any other thoughts? I know there's a couple of you left, a couple of stragglers. Um, any other questions? Anything else? I bought the course. Do I log in on Gumroad? Yeah, you log in on Gumroad and you will be able to access it from there. Cool. Wonderful.
Cool.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Mohit, thank you so much for your time. It's good to have you. I hope
Thank
to
you.
see
And
you again
Floyd,
next month.
yes,
What's that?
yes, you guys. Oh, there's a few things. You log in on Gumroad. Yeah.
Yeah, you log in on Gumroad. Yep.
Cool. All
Happy
right.
Thanksgiving to all of you. There will be more time for you all, perhaps on Black Friday weekend, to do all of this and have a working side hustle by December. We have many other events coming up. Look at our event calendar, join us, and up-level yourself in your career and become the most resilient professional you can be. All right, have a wonderful night. Talk soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye.